Yeah.
So I spent the afternoon scouring X for basically anybody live tweeting anything I could find on it, um, and which started off as like, oh yay, Dev Day, like that was fun last year, and then ended up turning into me mostly roasting Sam for like being 6 months late to all the open source stuff that's already been released and live, and he just like it's prettier and it's more expensive and he has more compute, but like we already did all this shit, so
Yeah.
that was my experience. Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah, and I guess this will just keep happening where companies will come out with things after they've been de-risked by open source. It's kind of a unfortunate thing, but also, I don't know, the kind of natural pipeline. It feels like we are the frontier.
Yeah, you know, the you
Um,
have to package it like nice and sexy for consumers, so you know it's part of the
right.
ecosystem.
Yeah. Oh my God, Morrissey. Also, good to see you. It's been a while, Morrissey. Morrissey, if anybody remembers, Mike and myself made made a SMS server for open interpreters. Actually chat with it over like text, and it would go into Open Interpreter and control it. Did uh did that ever kind of, I don't know, at Morrissey? I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. That like, I remember you had it set up on a Mac Mini at home and you were like texting with it. Did that last very
Yeah.
long, or how problems with that?
Yeah.
Good things about that.
It did. I think it just started like for complex tasks, it just chased
Only if
its
you're down
tail.
too,
But
as with anything. Feel free to intervene at any other part of this. There are, for anybody, two coming out, two things. We're gonna get into cookbooks, very cool stuff that Mike has been working on, including some of it James and Abe that have been making really, really great applications on top of Open Interpreter, using Open Interpreter in there. I think you guys are really gonna love this. The ability to add custom tools into Open Interpreter and let it use things, and a few other things that Mike has been working on, making as easy as possible for other folks to do. Um, I think I kind of want to show you guys what I built with the real time thing real quick. It's pretty, you know, this came out 2 days ago. Let's see how it goes. We got access, I think, at like 11 on Dev Day. So I just spent a bit of time this morning and yesterday trying to cook something up. And again, this is going to be something that's for the desktop app beta users. Um, it's called the new browser, and it is something that is a little bit like OS mode 2.0. So I'm going to share my screen. I don't think you're going to be able to hear her because it's going to be coming out of my speakers. And I'm just going to share the screen. But you might, but also it doesn't matter too much. And in fact, I quite like using it muted because it's not actually about what she's saying, it's about what she's controlling.
I will say that the mobile app has been like comfy to just hang out with. It's a good vibe. So I'm glad to see iterating on it.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, has there been, I don't know, yeah, any experiences with the mobile app that has been fun? Like I know that Mike and Ty went on tool use on their podcast, and which is great. And Ty had a really interesting demo with changing the voice on the app, and has been playing with that and using Cartesia. He actually made a generator that would generate voices to be used by Cartesia for the app. But any experiences with the app, and also Kai? I don't know if you want
No,
to.
yo no te veo.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad to hear you're having a good time with the mobile app. It sounds like there have been some exciting developments, especially with the tool use feature on the podcast and Ty's voice changing demo using Cartesia. Creating a voice generator for Cartesia sounds like a fun and innovative project. If you have any specific questions or need assistance with
Okay,
the
I
app or
muted the
anything
microphone.
else, feel free to
I'm
ask.
trying to share my screen, but while I get that set up, yeah, thanks, Queen. While I get that set up, if anybody has vibes with the app, yikes, you said you'd
Oh,
tried it out.
I, I not to spoil the fun, but I meant for the real-time voice that OpenAI had released. I wanted to unshit on them a little bit in order to the with regards to like the form factor for the mobile app has been really good, which I think is
Yeah.
should be a great kind of model for O1 Lite too. So I think there's plenty like we can all you know take the best bits from each other and make it happen. But I still need to try and
Totally.
get the mobile app set up on my Android. It was being a little finicky last time I tried.
Yeah, we should. It'd be fun to do a session too with Yumi and Kai and anybody else who's interested in that app, and just try to resolve some of the server stuff. Like I know there's been trouble on Windows and weirdness about that. Um, but but yeah, what's this is really nice of them to finally put an API out. Been a while. Like, you know, it felt like they were just going to go full consumer. They might after this. Who knows? Maybe this is the last time. I feel like I keep saying that though. But the real-time API is really good. A funny thing too, if anybody paid attention to the docs and looked into that, is that it has the same format as the O1, which is so validating. So like they could have gone with like a WebRTC or done some of the more advanced stuff. Um, but what we hacked together with the O1 was pretty well what they ended up hacking together. If you look at the spec for it, it's like, hey, here's a message in base 64 over a WebSocket, exactly the same as the O1. And then here's an end tag to have you start responding, exactly the same as the O1. And they have some of the same kind of messaging objects between the two. So I say that with just like very cool that some of the best developers in the world came after the open source O1 project, and we both arrived at the same solution independently. Um, just like I don't know, great tech all around. And also, it then was very easy for Kai to implement into the voice app. So the iOS app now, if you go to the repo, there is a multimodal agent. You can run the dash dash multimodal flag and use the app with advanced voice mode. Um, what we've been working on this morning is getting back all the functionality, but at the very least, it's extremely fast, much faster than anything that we've had with the pipeline of speech to text to speech. Um, Great work, Kai, by the way, on that. I was insanely fast. That was really fast. Screen share is taking a long, long time to load. Like it just is not working. I think I might leave the call and come back and see if that's what the problem is. I really want to show you guys this. Yeah, okay, I'll be right back.
Hopefully,
Okay.
the classic unplug it, plug it back in works.
I, you got to do it a lot on Twitter. Now you're starting to have to do it a lot on Discord. We're gonna have to move to Matrix soon, honestly.
What's Matrix?
It's the it's like matrix.to. It's like a privacy oriented like open source first like comms thing that's like actually encrypted and actually doesn't store anything, and you can run like host it locally and it's peer to peer, all that good stuff. I would actually might be worth looking into because I know I was in a Matrix chat the other day and they had set it up where Telegram and Discord and a few other platforms all fed into the Matrix chat. So it might be interesting to incorporate into O1 in some way, perhaps. Might be kind of fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I would love to see what they're cooking on. Um, okay, I think that it might be the move. By the way, too, one other quick thing about that is that anytime somebody makes an open source version of something, it opens up the opportunity to have a heaven banned version of it. I don't know if anybody has seen heaven banning. Like this Ben and Alex Volkov and I were talking about this a few days ago. Like there are apps now, I forget what the one is called, where you can go to Twitter and just be famous on Twitter because it's all AI that's responding to you. Like there's no real people across the whole thing. And the allegory to heaven banning is that as opposed to shadow banning, it's the idea that like imagine them implementing that into some social media platform where when you post something and you'd otherwise get shadow banned, instead you get heaven banned. You still think that you're on the platform and engaged. Nobody else is actually seeing your posts. It's
Oh,
just all
that's
AI.
spooky.
Heaven banning. Yeah, and everybody's like, "Whoa, yeah, we love it," and you have no idea that you're totally alone. But anyway, so the idea of a open source Discord means there's a potential for a heaven banned version of Discord, which is all AIs just at your streams. I hope that's not what's happening. Okay, so I have to quit out of Discord fully. I can't just leave the call. But maybe it's the move then, Mike. Do you want to go into some cookbook stuff? Sure. I don't know what you've been on, and then I'll figure out troubleshoot my stuff. Let me know, Mike, if that's
Yeah, just doing the old screen share.
if it's giving you troubles too. Then we'll yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have pop out and hopefully back.
Okay. See you soon. All right, everybody. Let's get this out of the way. So, for those of you who don't know, I was down in Texas lately. I got asked by AWS to give a little talk on Open Interpreter at their Breaking Barriers hackathon. The point of the hackathon was to get people together to build different tools that would help with accessibility, digital inclusion, all that fun stuff. So, being an AWS one, I had to put together some AWS profiles. Regardless of how you feel about it, it was pretty cool that they did the initiative. So, I put together this one called Bedrock Anthropic. What it does is it'll serve you an Anthropic model. Now, my account never got access to 3.5 Sonnet, which is super disappointing, but I still got 3 Sonnet, which is it's a little outdated, but it's good enough. And then it is served on Amazon Bedrock. So completely hosted by them and whatnot. So let's get it running. Poetry, run, interpreter, profile, Bedrock Anthropic. And this is in the default profiles, so you're able to use this today if you have a Bedrock account and set these environment variables, all that fun stuff. So got it running. So let's start with this. So you can see here, I have no buckets in my S3 account because I'm not a big AWS user, but no better time to get started. But like Amazon's interface, I don't know if anyone's used AWS. It's not my favorite interface, but Open Interpreter can make it easy. Please create an S3 bucket with a random name. Send that through. And then, as usual, Open Interpreter makes the plan, writes the code. Let's run it. Got an error, feeds the error back into... Oh, you know what? I might not be... Do I have a source? Oh, no. Make sure I'm in my view.
Might have thrown some placeholder like API keys.
Please create an S3 bucket with a random name. Run it. Invalid location restraint. Yeah, I've set the AWS region name locally, and then it's hard coding it. So hopefully,
Oh, it's good.
No,
Your region.
use the in.
I'm constantly putting in profiles like don't use placeholders.
Yeah. Yeah, no preamble. Don't use placeholders.
Nice.
No, use that.
Is this one with Claude 3 or is this?
Yeah, this is 3 Sonnet. 3.5 Sonnet is just so much more powerful.
Really, yeah.
But there we go. So bucket created. Hit a quick little refresh, and there we have an S3 bucket. Nice and easy. Oh, but it's empty. That's no fun. Let's see if we can have Open Interpreter help us out with that. Oops, didn't mean to quit. Now that I quit, it actually lost context of the bucket, but we can pass that through. Please upload this photo to the S3 bucket. Bam. And then photo. Let's just grab this little puffin here. Send it through.
I know that puffin.
I love that puffin. Run it. Successfully uploaded. Do a quick little refresh. So there we have our puffin uploaded to the S3 bucket. So you can imagine with a profile like this, you can take the values, you can set it up to run programmatically. So if you want to have things automatically backed up, you can have Open Interpreter run that for you. So That was one that I thought was really cool because, like I said, I don't love the AWS interface, but say you want to learn AWS more deeply. So with this, I've actually set up another profile called AWS Docs, and this is to highlight how you can hyper specialize a profile to accomplish a task much more reliably. Also, we've implemented a custom tool with it. So the whole point of this is to be the AWS Docs expert. I passed in as just a general parameter the search URL if it wants to search the docs, or it can use this custom tool we made for it that actually will go to Perplexity, which is scoped to the AWS docs, and then return a result. So let's fire up this one. Poetry, run interpreter, profile, AWS docs. How do I create an EC2 environment? So even though I never mentioned AWS Docs specifically, because it knows that EC2 environment is related, it actually will fire off the search AWS Docs, which is the tool we defined here, and then send it through. It's going to query Perplexity, like I said, with the constraints of AWS Docs, returns a bunch of information, which OpenInterpreter parses, and then gives you step-by-step instructions how to make your EC2 environment. Please open a web browser to the docs so I can read more about it. Because, a step-by-step summary is good, but sometimes I want to go deeper into the information, really understand the workings. So I'm going to write the code to open up a browser, which open my other screen. Create EC2 instance. So now you can have this hyper-specialized profile, which you can maybe orchestrate with other agents to accomplish very specific goals. Because with OpenInterpreter's natural breadth of capability, sometimes it'll lack the depth to do certain things, but you can set profiles to enhance the depth of a certain thing and keep it more narrowly focused. Now, one other thing I wanted to show really quick is a cookbook. You might have seen my recent demo up on Twitter where I used Jan to control an OpenInterpreter server. So I just wanted to walk through that really quickly. If we take the interpreter dash server, and I'm passing in Y just to make it automatic. If you haven't used interpreter server, it's really cool. So it'll actually fire up a server, which is OpenAI compatible. So anything in the OpenAI format will be received by this. And it's just sitting, waiting for a request. So we'll open up Jan. Wow, nice and slow. And what you'll want to do is head down to settings. You can actually set the OpenAI settings to point at your local host. So instead of sending to OpenAI servers, it's just going to send to my OpenInterpreter server locally. Head up to chat. Make sure that your model is set to an OpenAI one, and then please open Chrome. Let's open Chrome using AppleScript. You can see that it actually will do it here. And then Jane will be the interface. Did it open another window? Oh, there we go. Little delay. Cool.
Nice.
Tell Chrome to go to YouTube and search for Open Interpreter. Got a, oh, YouTube Open Interpreter. There we go. Josh, me, a few good guides. So we're really excited about these cookbooks because it's going to start allowing more people to be able to share functionality, replicate functionality, and just really benefit from like the power of Open Interpreter. So one thing we've set up, which I hope everyone checks out, is a new cookbook channel. So in this cookbook channel, you'll actually have the ability to make a request for cookbooks or share cookbooks that you've made. So if you check it out, you see I put two, the use Jan as interface to control your computer, as well as your talk to your database. And this will have a little bit of information about it, as well as where you can see it if you want to help review the PR. But if you are curious how to do a task reliably with Open Interpreter, open up a request for a cookbook, and either the team or the community will put one together so that we're able to repeatably and reliably accomplish certain tasks and start teaching more people about how we can accomplish these things with Open Interpreter. So instead of that blank screen problem that so many people deal with, we're actually going to be able to say these are a finite list of things that you can do reliably. And, maybe a few stretch goals too, like get ambitious with it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Hope to see people start contributing cookbooks. And yeah, anybody have any questions?
I have more of a comment. I think
That was awesome.
it's nice to do that in Discord, I know I see all the cookbooks on GitHub all the time, which is good, but it's slightly more difficult to comment on them on GitHub and sort of like workshop around and kind of put something together. So I think it's cool to do
Totally.
that in a chat application. Nice idea.
Yeah, and a lot of people do bring up questions over can they do a certain task. So instead of just answering the same things over and over, if there's a cookbook there that they can reference, not only will they get the answer that yes, I can do that, but they'll see how to do it step by step.
Insanely cool. That's awesome. Um, yeah, especially too. I just in seeing like how much faster you can get started and how often it is. It feels like folks are asking for something that could be accomplished with a cookbook. Like even this custom tool thing is like for a long time we've been asking for. And that perplexity thing is like a really good trick for anybody that is trying to build stuff that like searches over particular domains of knowledge that's just on the web. That just is a really, really cool thing. That's really on Perplexity, like of making such a great API that lets you specify a domain to restrict it to. Um, but super powerful. And for that to be a cookbook that folks can just make an agent that when you talk to it is going to search docs and they're live is sick. Um, yeah, and the fact that it's combined too with all of its other abilities. It doesn't lose anything by having access to that tool. That's just one extra tool that it's being told to use.
Yeah, I'd be
Uh,
super keen for someone to make an EXA tool for the same thing. Just start scouring
I
the
was
web,
just
get a
gonna
bunch of detailed
mention,
yeah,
information, even in context.
Exa and
yeah,
Tavily too.
sick.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Oh my God, Tavily is awesome.
So good.
In Clyde. Everybody's tried that. Okay, so I don't think I can get my screen sharing for this real time though. It's just not let me do it. I'm gonna join by my phone and just show you what I'm looking at. That work?
Yep, can see ya.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna try now, make sure it's working. Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Let's see. Booting up. So has anybody else played with the real-time API? Or are we kind of we're pretty early to this. We had to
Yeah,
actually get it
haven't
live
played.
kit doc.
Oh yeah, LiveKit actually
Or
implemented it, I think, didn't they?
they did it so quickly and they did it so sick. In fact, I actually think that if anybody was monitoring GitHub before the announcement, they would have known it was coming. If only we had been kind of like on that. But we actually had to make two PR into it to get functions working right, because that's how you could plug it into openinterpreter. Is let's just give a voice agent access to a function that lets it execute code, and then you should get the speed of real-time voice plus all the power of executing code. But especially what I'm interested in showing you guys too is the new browser OS mode 2.0 coming to the DApp, which is our internal name for the desktop app.
The DApp, you say?
The DApp.
As a
I thought
Web
you liked
three
going
guy,
eggs.
that's a good one. I like it. Good pick.
Okay, let's see. One sec. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How can I assist you today?
Okay, can you print hello world?
Sure, here's how you can print Hello World in Python.
No, I'd love for you to execute code to print hello world.
Hello World has been printed. What else can I help you with?
I flip my camera around.
I'm sorry, but I cannot interact with or control physical hardware like your camera. However, if you need help with software related to your camera or have questions about camera settings,
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I think you can control some hardware. I would love for you to go to Google in the browser.
Believe in yourself.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. How can I assist you further?
Okay, execute code to go to Google in the browser.
It seems there was an error while trying to execute.
Oh no, you got to use the like go to URL thing to go to Google in the browser.
I've already navigated to Google using the browser tool. Is there anything specific you'd like to do on the Google page?
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I think you got to use the execute tool and execute something like computer.browser and then go to Google. That worked. Okay, that was awesome. Could you now type in crumble cookies and then press enter? Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. How can I assist you further?
Okay, type in crumble cookies, execute code to type in crumble cookies using the browser. Okay, now press enter. Nice, that's awesome. Oh, okay. Can you read the page again and then press the not now button? Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please execute code to read the page, and then I want you to click on the not now button. Awesome, thanks. Okay, could you click on that first link there to crumble cookies? Very cool. Okay, I want to go back to Google actually. I want to try something else out. Okay, could you please type in like meme creator? Just like I want to create a meme. Yep, press enter. Okay, could you click on that first link? Let's go to meme generator. Okay, that's perfect. Do you want to click on the top text box? Okay, just type in something funny. I think you can tell what's on the screen and see what meme it is. If you want to just have fun with this one and type in something in the top text, and then just click on the bottom text box and then type in something else.
I've added the text when you realize at the top and the weekend is over at the bottom of the meme.
Okay, I don't know if you can click on the other memes. I don't love this meme template so much. Maybe click on the Drake one. Yeah, okay, click Drake Hotline Bling. I think it's that first one. Okay, this is an okay meme. Could you go into the top text box there and then just like backspace a bunch and type in something else? This is the Drake meme. You know the format.
The top text has been updated to using Comic Sans. What would you like to add to the bottom text?
I think that's first of all, this is hilarious. This is a very surreal meme here that you've made. If you could type into the bottom text box and then just backspace a bunch of times and then just like I don't know, say something else using Comic Sans, what do you think?
The bottom text has been updated to using Helvetica. Your meme now reads, using Comic
That's hilarious. Okay, let's hit generate. Generate this meme. Baller, can we hit Twitter? Hit the Twitter icon?
The Twitter sharing option has been clicked. If you have a Twitter account, you should now be able to share your meme directly from the MFlip website. Is there
Pretty sick.
anything else?
So took a minute to kind of get it started there, and get it familiar with executing code. This is kind of like just got this working for the first time half an hour ago, but I imagine with a little bit of extra kind of getting started at the beginning, it can just immediately load into that ability of having really, really rapid control over the screen and interface elements. Super proud of that. And it's coming to the desktop. So for beta folks that are on that, it might actually be available now if you uninstall the app, but it'll definitely be available like tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to rejoin on my computer. I'll see you guys in a sec.
There appears to be a 25-person limit on this. I changed the setting to 99. It used to be on unlimited, so no idea why it's set, but we yeah, Killian, we can hear you.
Could be if one of the boosts slaps or something, and the server's lower level now, it might be capping you on the number of people in the stream.
Maybe. We're level 2. One second, I'll investigate. Yep, no, we heard it well. It's always cool to see the rapid response time, especially when it's committing actions. I'm looking. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm looking at the boost status. I'm not seeing why we wouldn't have it, but I have no idea. I haven't dealt with this before.
I think you should be able to drag people into, like, worst case. No audio, really. Should be piping out. That's strange. Let me check. Oh yeah, no audio, really. Should be piping out. That's strange.
Yeah, feeling private video now?
Oh yeah, no audio, really.
There we go.
Strange.
Yeah, feeling private video now?
We did it.
Busy with work. It's gonna be next Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 11th.
Speaking of which, Abe, I think I've figured out a very cool thing we could do. He's inspired me. I think we need to catch up to Open Interpreter, and I think we need to build a meme generator skill so we can automate that whole thing. Because listening to you talk to it, it's so familiar. It's just like, now hit enter. it's like talking to it's like amazing on one hand and talking to a toddler on the other.
Oh, is the channel limited to 25 people, or is it that 25 people can watch the stream at the same time? Because I think the second one is just how it works. But you can have a second person like stream the same thing. And I think stages don't have that limit in theory.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
We got a fat limb there. All right. See you on the stage, everybody.
Cuckoo.
Much better.
Nice. Hey. Okay, there is though. There's just because it's still fresh, and I think I actually still have it all open. I'm ready to go. And who knows? Maybe we can share the screen now that we're on the stage. No, maybe not. All right. We could try to see how far it gets by just asking it to make a meme. Like, it can see when the state of the browser changes. I was kind of trying to be as direct as possible. I imagine too that like for accessibility's sake, there's a lot that you can do by just directing it to different components on the screen. But for the sake of agents and the power of agents, and also trying to, as much as possible, close the cognitive kind of distance between getting to get things done and ask for them, it might be worth seeing how it handles multi-step things of just asking it to make a meme. So we can just say go to image flip and then make a meme. I want to kind of get that set up. There's two things. One is that I want to put a little bit more attention to what Abe and James were just saying before we get into maybe one more real-time demo and then into getting into community stuff, folks that are building like Two Dog. We should get into that after. But the other thing too is that, so this is coming to the desktop app. I would love to, for anybody who is not in the desktop app beta, to be invited into it and to be a part of it. So Mike, what's the best way for folks to get involved and try out the Open Interpreter desktop app?
Let me recreate that question really quick so people can self-assign. So you'll go up to channels and roles and channels, and then there'll be questions you want to be a beta tester. Just hit yes, and then you'll get the role. For the 75 people who are already beta testers, it's been awesome talking to you. Really appreciate the feedback. There is a new version we released yesterday, so make sure you go to the menu, update, and yeah, give us your feedback, positive, negative. It's been helping us shape things, so really appreciate everyone putting the time and effort in. Give me 1 second, I'll get that set up.
This one is dramatically different too. On the last one, we are still Mac only, but we're closer to it. What's in the update? It's mostly structural things under the hood that just is going to make it work on more computers, because we were seeing that it wasn't really working on some computers. But there are some new things too, which I think you're just going to have to try it out and see. Ask it for more things. It should be capable of even more things. And also this new browser, kind of the new browser OS mode 2.0. That's going to come out in this. I do think if you update now, it should actually work. But if you uninstall and then reinstall, because it has to install its packages. But that'll definitely be in an update that goes out to everybody tomorrow. But so a bunch of new stuff in this update. And yeah, thank you so much to everybody who's been trying it and letting us know when it does not work and when it does work and what you wish it could do and what it's good for and what it's not good for. It is genuinely like, we want to have this out publicly as soon as possible. And it's the people here that are actually making real product decisions by just using it and giving us feedback. So thanks for everybody who's been playing with it. We can't wait to make it better. Okay, then the other thing after that is to on the screen pipe thread? No. But the other thing too is James and Abe. So they were just talking about this. Something's going on next Friday. Oh, actually, yeah. If we want to let up for speaker James and Abe, or James or Abe.
There we go.
Just let them know
Yeah.
what.
So yeah, we are wanting to do a bit of an intro to our software, which is the human script software built with Open Interpreter. So we decided the best way to do that was going to be through a live event where we build a knowledge base and a skill set, which are our way of customizing the Open Interpreter and giving it repeatable skills and knowledge bases to draw on. Doing a build along, and in that same vein, introducing our repository for shared knowledge bases. So people who make knowledge bases and skill sets can share them, and we can get a community starting to go around those.
And we're going to shamelessly steal that cookbook channel idea, by the way, because we're just going to stick it up on GitHub, and it's like, you're 100% right. Commenting up there kind of sucks.
Please
So
do.
yeah, thank you for the idea. Yeah, so next Friday we'll do like a walkthrough so you can see what skills are, how to build them, because it's, for the most part, it's pretty easy. It can get complex with some of the long multi-step stuff, but for the most part, it's pretty easy. Show you how the RAG works. We can get real technical if people want, or stay kind of surface level. It's planned just to be a tutorial to get you up and running with Human Script, which is our software built on Open Interpreter. We got a few poorly done demos, like we're not YouTubers, here and there scattered on our Discord server. Some of you have seen that stuff already. Some of you haven't. But yeah, it'll be Friday at 3 Eastern next week. And it won't be a stage. It'll just be more of a, a demo with some chat. And people can ask questions and stuff. No particular focus. There's probably going to be some accessibility stuff because there's been a lot of interest from that department. Also, just as like an update for people who do know what we're doing, we're building a bunch of O1s right now, and we used Open Interpreters as our custom assistant. We built on Open Interpreter. We made an O1 flashing assistant. So now you want to flash an O1, you plug it in, you go, hey, flash this O1. It looks to make sure it's got the latest, flashes it, validates that it's flashed it. And then it goes to flash the next one because, we did 50
Did
of them.
50 in about 30 minutes. Yeah.
Oh,
And repeatable every time. Like, how you get a talk, like, again, with the meme thing, you talk it through, you tell it to hit enter and stuff. The basis of skill building is you go through that process once where you're telling it exactly what to do, and then you get it to summarize the steps. And then we've got sort of a markdown format that we found works really well. Then those steps are kind of reformatted in that format of a skill, and then you just drop that into your skills folder. And now next time you do that, it's going to follow that set of steps. So like the first time you tell it to check your email, it's gonna pop up with the credentials and all that stuff. You're gonna walk it through, you're gonna get it there. Next time you tell it to check your email, it'll just check your email. More complex skills will take a few rounds, but that's basically what we'll be walking through. And yes, it runs on Windows and it runs on Linux. So
Yeah, it was sort of initially designed to run on the Raspberry Pi, but we've since just had it running on everything as its own software. But it should work on wherever you want to run it. It's pretty much system agnostic.
It's very lightweight.
And notably, these skills that he's talking about, these are what we're talking about that are shareable. So not only can you save these skills and your interpreter can call them between sessions to get action repeatability done, but you can share those with other people and include those all in a knowledge base that can customize and really empower the assistant and share them.
So a knowledge base is like a RAG corpus plus sort of a skill set. So if you've built a nice assistant to do a specific thing you like, and you want to share it, you can put that up. And when somebody else activates that knowledge base, it turns it from a normal session of Open Interpreter to that custom assistant. And whatever knowledge is required is in the RAG, and the list of skills with their steps and all that stuff is carried over, and it's all human readable. You can go in there and edit it all. It's like you don't have to be a coder.
Oh, one example we have right now that has been the most interesting is the Google API knowledge base. That once given your credentials, your Google credentials, it is able to check your email, check your calendar, send emails, organize emails, filter them, make calendar events, all sorts of stuff like that. Make new Drive files, Google Sheets, organize that stuff. And all
Plan
those are
routes
sorted
when you're
into
driving
skills.
and all that, and send it to your Google
Yeah.
account. Yeah. What's another? There was some other one I wanted to mention. I've lost it. Oh well.
Flashing Arduino sketches.
Yeah.
Mixed success with sending WhatsApp messages.
Yeah, we're still getting that one kind
Yes,
of
the
ironed
knowledge
out.
bases are about to be consolidated anywhere. They will be by the time we have our event next Friday. We're setting up a GitHub repository and Discord channel for them right now.
Yeah, we got an empty repo up
Should
at the
check.
moment.
But yeah, I think that's about it.
Very
So
cool.
if anyone wants to stop by, Human Devices Discord channel, I can drop a link. But
Drop
yeah,
the
we'll be having an
event
event
link.
next Friday.
Definitely an event link.
Ah,
too.
Drop
yeah.
an event link in there too.
Of that one of the flashing of the O1s too.
Pardon?
Do you have a link to the video too of the flashing of the O1s?
It's in
Oh yeah,
Yes.
both
sure. Yeah,
O1 and content.
Yeah.
too.
I can put it in the chat too though. But
Okay.
yeah, there. That's that. In that video, you'll see us running human script on a piece of our hardware.
It's running
It's
on a
a Raspberry
Pi.
Pi dev kit. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, so you basically like, and just actually, I don't want to like monopolize because I feel like last time we sort of took up a ton of time. I don't want to do that again. So the dev kit I do want to touch on because it's in that video, and this is something where we're actually we're really eager to get out the door and have people playing around with. It is right now it's a Raspberry Pi running Raspbian with this on there, and because it's got access to Raspberry Pi's 40 pin, you can do whatever you like with sensors and all that kind of stuff, right? The goal for that in the long run, and if anybody in here wants to nerd out on this stuff with us, we will have a limited number of units we will provide to people who want to play with them for no charge. But seriously, only if you actually seriously want to like play around with this. What we want, our goal is a very lightweight build of Linux that's either going to be Rasputin or Ubuntu based with open interpreters, our spin on open interpreter at the core. It is going to have options for vision. So like if you're a firmware developer, if you're building products, if you're trying to make gadgets, if you're like a maker or whatever, you're going to have a Raspberry Pi sitting on your desktop and a little overhead camera that's going to be able to see your work area, that's going to be able to see your pinout, that's going to be able to see everything. And all the popular off-the-shelf sensors and boards, we're going to make little housings for with a QR code attached to the knowledge base to run that software. So as soon as it's in the camera range of the model and you plug it in, it knows what it's plugged into. It knows what it's dealing with. It downloads all the necessary drivers and docs and all that stuff from the knowledge base. And you can verbally go, oh, okay, like make it flash the lights, like make it flash them in a cooler way. Okay, like add a humidity, like, okay, I've plugged in a humidity sensor, or I've, or a mic or whatever, make it go, whatever gadget you're making, you'll be able to do via vision and voice prompting, and you won't really need to like write Arduino sketches or anything like that. So that's kind of the goal with the dev kit. And we would love people to test that out because that's like actual, like that's like an actual real use we use in our business, and we just kind of want to like make it better.
The machine that builds the machines.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. The machine that builds the machines. All right, well that's enough of me yapping.
No, I
Yeah.
can't get enough of it. I love hearing about this. This is such a cool project that you guys are working on. Oh, I love the name Human Script.
Peanut, yes, you can try it. Absolutely. You're on the list. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're super focused on accessibility stuff right now. It's a very high priority.
Yeah.
Brad. Okay, well, I'll be there
Oh,
next
actually,
Friday.
we'll be building one of those for mounting on an electric wheelchair with a touchscreen for somebody in the Discord. They
Oh,
used to be a sysadmin. They can't work anymore. They're wheelchair bound. They have a very rare condition, but they're gonna have a human script little virtual assistant, and they're gonna help us develop that. They got a little folded out of the way touchscreen in front of them, so they can, they can do all their things because typing's a real issue for them. Um, Things like that, we like our time and bandwidth is limited, but applications like that, we'll do absolutely everything we can to support anything like that. All right, now I really want to stop.
Alrighty, yeah, we can hop off the stage now. Thank you guys for giving us a chance to shamelessly plug.
of course, come to
Yeah.
every house. This is always how we'll share this. This is really, really amazing stuff that you're working on. And I hear so much from folks that are in this community that have used it and get benefit from it. And I know you're iterating on it with them. Very cool.
Yeah. And make sure you check out the event next Friday.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so next to Two Dog, had you said too, maybe there's some stuff that you've been cooking on that you are interested in sharing?
Waiting for the hand to go up.
For the hand? All good if not too. Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Come on up. Hey, Two Dog. I love the staple of everyone. We get an open interpreter demo, we get a human devices demo, we get a Two Dog demo.
There we go.
Quality.
I had pushed to talk on. Sorry about that. Can you hear me okay?
Welcome.
Yes, hear you well. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been working on some stuff. It's not perfect, but it's more than ready to show off. I'm going to join with my Two Dog plant account. If you can invite me up, then I can stream that screen from the device. I have it running on. Give me one moment.
Exciting. Knowing that.
Been working with Vision.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to get a drone, and this drone does not have an SDK, but it has high resolution video capture. And so I realized that most farmers, and this is going to have a lot of applications, but my whole idea here is one of the things with Farm Friend was like natural resource assessment, security assessments, land planning, suggestions, all that sort of top-down aerial consulting ability you would have, and sort of connecting that to APIs with zoning laws and resources, and moving that further to supplies, to actualize suggestions and insights that could be gained. And so the tool I'm going to demonstrate is basically Farm Friend Vision. This has been moved out now. As I get streaming here, I'll show you a little bit of the way this whole sort of ecosystem works. And that is, we're out of shortcuts. Shortcuts is still happening. It's bang-a-langin'. But I've started moving into Streamlit user interfaces to sort of be able to create the API routes from Flask servers and individual tools of all the shortcuts I made that my Farm Friend like Next.js agent sort of web application that I finally got the payment window and the storage and the Firebase and all this together on can start to call and use these API routes as tools. And one of the big parts is, having an enormous context bucket with the infrastructure of your farm. And so the amount of data entry now through visual function calling from inventorizing versus all the data entry that seemed to be the major moat of why farmers didn't want to take full advantage of agricultural software. Or if they did, and I never heard the word data silo, until a few months ago, but it's like that was the other side of that. Is like, you got so much information you're not really using. And so now with the ability to like be able to just sit there and chat with someone to put in their context. It's still kind of difficult with some farmers that I meet. They just don't understand where I'm just kind of saying, like describe your buildings, describe the equipment, describe what you're doing. Just, you can literally just converse this. So I've gone back and forth through different user interfaces of long kind of boring text field questionnaires and so forth. And now by combining the drone footage with just walking around a farm and the cell phone, by being able to run this app through a web interface, it's like all the sort of data inventorizing and logging I've sort of worked into this. And this other thing I kept running up against was just this idea of the black box that we all know about. And so this is set up more in the sense of like, there's sort of preset functions. And so as we load the video or the images, because I've connected the open interpreter, I've connected the Gemini API for video analysis. I have connected the.
Two Dog too. I noticed the screen is not sharing on Two Dog Plant. I don't know if there is a.
I'm almost there. Thank you
Okay,
very. Yep,
great.
I'm so close.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, there's the first step. I'm going to turn off this speaker. Okay. So, first things first, farm friend vision. And the way this is working, like I said, just kind of a basic Streamlit user interface here. And let me bring this up on my other device. Is it streaming yet, or is it still loading for everyone?
I can't
Loading
see.
for
It's
me.
loading for me.
Let me give it a sec here.
There's something magic about Streamlit. I'm happy that you're using them.
It definitely helps some stuff come together quickly. And as far as the analytical aspects of agriculture, without all the necessary of a self-generating UI or all these sort of things we can do with AI, I find like, yeah, this is what's bringing me back to bridging that gap. I'm really sorry to ask this again, but is it still loading for everyone, or can you guys see it?
It is still loading for me, unfortunately, too.
Okay, let me just disconnect and try this one more time.
Okay. You might have to try what I did, which was going into your phone and then just showing us what you're seeing. That's the nuclear option. So I think Two Dog is talking about taking video from a drone and video of people walking around. There's something that was on that there's
Oh,
agricultural.
no, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm going to try all this from one device, and maybe that's chewing up too much bandwidth for me to stream also. So can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Wonderful. Thanks for the patience.
Yeah, Anton, what is it you're suggesting? Reduce to 15 FPS and 480p? I don't know if there's a way to do that.
Is it showing for you guys?
Fortunately, it's still loading for me.
Let me check my video. Yeah, let me see if I can reduce the video settings here. Give me one sec.
Yeah, okay. Yikes, yes, is when you share screen, you can set the settings when you click share screen. Thanks, folks, too, for holding on while we figure this out.
If I don't get this streaming in the next few seconds, I'm just going to put the link up and you can all go there and upload your own image. Maybe you want to grab an image from Google Images and grab an overhead shot of a farm, to give it the right context. But
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully I can just stream it. But I mean, I do have this deployed and have some homies find some things and getting some feedback. We're moving forward in a lot of directions.
That'd be great to have a link no matter what. If folks upload a link, though, or they upload an image into it, and it's an overview of it, what kind of information is this grabbing out of that image?
Okay, well, let me put the link up and then you all kind of explore.
And if you have your phone and can do that, that was a great option.
Oh, there we go. Hey, can you bring Two Dog Seeds up?
Like invite sent.
Wonderful. Okay, here we go. We about to be in biz.
Oh, this is nice.
Okay, so
Okay, I think you have to mute one of them. You might want to just mute your computer microphone.
here we go.
Good.
Perfect.
All right, so we have Farm Friend Vision and a Streamlit user interface. And the idea here is that you can come in and we have these different modes, from an image analysis to just working with Farm Friend to getting drone video analysis. It's what I call the location analysis, which is where openinterpreter gets the location, takes the, now this is not working perfectly, gets the location, puts that into a map. Right now it's running on Streamlit maps, gets that information, and this will be running the Google Maps API to come in at like a zoom level of 4. Like I said, this has given me some issues. The other ones all work great. I'll get that overhead imagery instead of from the Streamlit map here, and then can allow you to get these different sorts of security assessment, infrastructure assessment, or a general description of that overhead imagery. There's also then a script that runs offline that allows all of the information from any analysis you do in these other modes. And it allows you to then send all of that as a text information to openinterpreter, running in your terminal on a specialized profile that is then made to, along with the Perplexity API, get into looking into water rights and zoning laws. And it's like, you'll have something of an interview with the farmer, and the other context from the other parts of the Farm Friend ecosystem will be in there. So again, now you've put up an image, and we'll go to video in a second. Rather than having everyone walk up to a black box, because I've been working with some farmers, I have it more set up where it's kind of like the functions that the Farm Friend agent, that kind of like the interaction you guys would be used to, utilize, where we just go to a chat interface, we put in any context we want, we upload images or videos, and we get that kind of interaction. And this chatbot can call on those functions. For most farmers I've been working with, they're just not there. And so providing them the ability to put in that image and select anything from farm infrastructure assessments to livestock assessments to plant help, micro to microscope slide imagery analysis. I've not started fine tuning any Llama 3.2 models or any Moon Dream 2 models or the BM or CMC. I can't even keep up. I've just been working on architecture. It's like the idea here is then from any single image to batches of images, we could have uploaded multiples to getting multiple types of assessment. And if it doesn't have the context, it's not going to return. So for this overhead shot here of this like farm, I'm starting to train and generate a lot of images to make some image models that will help make garden sketching and garden planning better based off of Google satellite image of the farm you're on.
Wow.
I've been also able to use them to get the assessment. So we've selected the resource assessment and the farm layout optimization analysis here. So it's going to go to town. It's going to do basic image analysis. And we're going to get that information. And I haven't put a lot of time into the UX yet, but everybody's getting information. And the other deployed version that's using far more tokens is giving a lot more detail, but I've only got that in a couple people's hands. Here you can do more assessments with more images. You can export all of your analysis. I have a login function and object storage running in Replit, so the 2 farmers I'm working with right now can save their assessments, but that's just the image analysis. So now we'll jump over to drone video analysis, because I feel like you guys are familiar with how the user interface of a chatbot works with either the video or the image. So we'll jump to drone video analysis, and I will grab this video of some property.
Or is
Pardon
it,
me?
can we see the video, or is it private?
No, totally. It just uploaded, and now it's like coming into its preview window. And so this is overhead drone footage. It's only 5 seconds. It's like of usable land. So there we have the video. And now we're going to analyze the video. Now, I haven't pushed the changes. I was furiously working here because it's doing all this like I started incorporating actual like I hope I don't use the wrong word here, but like machine learning models that are actually doing real crop prediction and predictive analysis and starting to run on trend analytics and doing things that aren't like transformer or large language model based, and started to like cross the stream somewhat. And so this is like a weird sense of
Wow.
analysis right now that I haven't completely dialed in, where it's like Google's API is weird, man. It's got all these pre-baked like machine learning style video intelligence analyses. And so really just getting in there, dumping all the docs into Cursor to get this. But I mean, you kind of get the idea. It's a portal, all this information shareable with an API. You're getting the video assessment, you're getting the imagery assessment. You can come in and just put this up and just chat about it and ask questions of what you could do with this space or that space. Some of the other things, even though I'm showing you this on a desktop, it's like, yeah, the fact that this runs from any browser on your phone allows you now to walk in with these image analyses, use things like the spatial assessment to like see how you can maybe incorporate vertical farming or renewable energy assessments. And now you're just in the field taking pictures with your phone and getting this kind of information. Now I've also been running it back through Farm Friend. Okay, so this is the free Farm Friend version that's been up for quite some time. And it's your basic chat bot. Get you set up on how to install Raspberry Pis or how to make fertilizers out of grass tea to feed 3 acres of rice without buying anything or everything in between. Then we've also got this, and this is what's going to be interacting. And this is sort of what I'm doing my best to replicate the shortcuts experience. And I mean, it's hard not to just come back to basically what those chatbots are providing: image, file upload, context, the ability to have a context editor that you can actually get in and just dump as much actual information
Wow.
about your farming and right now I think I only have in here, my name is Jamie and I like to grow fruits, focusing on citrus greenhouses currently, while actual Two Dog Seeds Farm Friend and Shortcuts, has all the sort of stuff I put in by voice already of all my infrastructure and all my systems and all my SOPs and the methods I like for this and the methods I like for that. So as you dump all of this in there, then you just have all that ability to get that sort of information back through the context of agriculture and the system messages I've provided and the structured outputs and so forth. And because this is an agent technically that is connected to like Perplexity search right now and file creation and saving and some blob stuff, I've got like a Twilio integration that I haven't put in there yet. But the idea here, and then I've also connected shortcuts to this. But the idea then is to just bring this, get most of their context connected through the vision tool. So unless you guys have any questions, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And it's like from now the mode is moving into working on the system messages of each individual analysis type. Like I have the shortcuts built in the different modes that the vision shortcut calls on and identifies different sort of material. And starting to then just increase the amount of inventorization or the way that these work and so forth. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I've got some other, I guess I'll just show really quickly. Other places this is going is into like smart dashboards that sort of like allow you to put in any URL or any file or connect to your own APIs and start to interact with things like white papers and sort of get quasi-visual analysis, but also be able to ask questions. This again is connected to the heartbeat of your farm and all the context that's involved in the environment. So you're already getting like, insights down to your farm and recommendations for how you're going to use this information, as well as, again, kind of a not generic, but a overall chatbot feature that allows you to just ask questions. Down here we get a bunch more, I think, Python visualizations and 3D visualizations. But the idea is that then I'm working on with Open Interpreter, so collecting data from BLE and back to the flipper now, and sort of just like introducing all the most ancient and modern devices on the farm and the IoT sensors into all being able to communicate to eventually start dumping all this data in to these dashboards. So I think I'll end it there, but I really appreciate the showcase. And I think like in another month, I'm going to have this thing like more autonomously running through its system and sort of opening these streamlets up and components in the next.js and just having it kind of like how I'm envisioning it. So yeah, I can't wait to show you guys more, but appreciate it.
We can't wait to see it. Thanks so much, Two Dog, for coming up.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you guys for everything.
I feel like, you know, well, first of all, okay, for a deeper dive into this, I think Mike put it in, but Mike and Ty did a episode of Tool Use with Two Dog. I super recommend checking out. There is there is a shaky ground um right now to everything technological because there's new tools out there. I hope folks that are seeing this and seeing Two Dog who, you know, came into this because um, he's been farming and knew a lot about farming and took AI and infused it into that. Whether folks here are building on Open Interpreter or they are just building on OpenAI or they're building on Moondream or they're building on Olama, um, I would I really love what you've built, Two Dog, and I hope other folks here feel comfortable coming up and sharing the kinds of things that they've been working on because as we exchange knowledge all together, we can kind of figure out how to be a part of the revolution. Um, I can't imagine a better thing to be doing with your life right now than trying to figure out how to apply artificial intelligence to something that you know really well and trying to figure out how to help people who have similar problems to you and trying to specialize with the AI tools that are out there right now and get something that's very good at farming or very good in accessibility or very good at computer control and programming. This is the time of your life right now to be doing this. The ground has never been shakier, and who knows what projects of everything that's happening. I think there are a few in this community alone will be will become very big or become very helpful and completely change the world. I mean, agriculture is everything. Everything depends on great agriculture. So if you're taking AI and making agriculture even better, thank you, Two Dog, on behalf of humanity. And to anybody else who's working on things like that, thank you. I don't know if other folks have stuff that they wanna share uh, in this most exciting time to be alive. Yeah, okay, sick. Farm Front Vision. So I'm definitely gonna check this out. Very cool too to see that you're on Replit using Cursor, just using all the best stuff to try to build things. And of course, great too to see Open Interpreter in there. But it's yeah, I know a lot of people who are approaching it like that. It's really the best thing I think you could be doing with your life right now. Um, okay, so yeah, if other folks have anything they want to share, throw it in the chat. If not, then we could probably close out. Even too, if you just have links to like things you're working on and want some feedback on it, GitHub links or anything, uh, just share it, and we can all hopefully get you up to demo at the next one. I so appreciate that Two Dog too that there's a version out there for folks to try out, and yeah, let's all kind of take it easy. Um, Very cool to hear too that there's great video analysis APIs. I hope too that folks that are trying to think about things to build along this direction are going to not only think about trying to find stuff like the Gemini video analysis. OpenAI launching the Vision Training API is a big deal. So if folks are building with their Vision APIs are not specific enough. Maybe this is interesting. Two Dog too. That they have now released a ability to train models, their vision models, which are really great. Um, and I know that Moondream is really the best way to do that locally too. If you're looking for something that will be free, Vic has on Moondream.ai great cookbooks for fine tuning vision models, which seems to hit a lot of applications that people are doing. Okay, I think that about does it. Some cool new real-time updates from Two Dogs, from James, from Abe, from me, from the team, and also too Kai if he's still here too on the O1 app that has real-time in it. So if you want to start building on Android, iOS, and the new OpenAI real-time API, which again is advanced voice mode, lot of green space in front of us, a lot of blue sky. It was good to see you all.
Get your beta tester role if you're interested. request a cookbook if you're interested. Let's level this thing up.
Yeah, oh my god, and the cookbooks too. That's going to be a total game changer for us sharing stuff to do um, with all this great tech. Okay, lots of love. Anything else to hit?
I think we're good.
All right, good to see you all. See you next month. Or
Bye,
I'll see you
everyone.
in some user interviews. Bye. Bye, Mike, too. And bye, Ben. Okay.
Let's see. Well, okay, so that is all for that. All of the, if you happened to see this, I wasn't watching how many, I have eyeballs this time or not. I could look at it on the thing. Okay. All right, some of the people saw the thingy. I tried to drop as many links as I could snag in into the chat on both YouTube and X. But if you are curious about any of the things that were mentioned there, and you are either watching this right now or you're watching it in the future, let me know, and I will go track down the links for you so you can check it out and play with it and have a wonderful time. All right, well, we will see you for the next one, and then possibly later today I might restream a machine learning meetup. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to have time to do that, but if I do, then I will see you then, and then if I don't, then I will see you whenever